Seen better days.
He was 3 songs in when his knees buckled, and the crowd went silent. Country music sells you the image. Boots on, not a crack in the armor.
As long as old men sit and talk about.
But 5 of its biggest stars found out live, on camera, that the body doesn't care about the show. This is what really happened when the music stopped. Number 5. Randy Travis, The Room Full of Doctors, Fort Worth, Texas, 20110.
But you're not just time that I'm kidding.
Randy Travis wasn't just a country star. He was the reason country radio sounded the way it did in the late 80s. The deep, unmistakable baritone behind
You anyway. They say time can play tricks on.
Forever and Ever Amen, and on the other hand, a voice that pulled the genre back toward its traditional roots when it was drifting toward pop. By 2010, he was 52 years old.
Longer one of those guys.
25 years into his career, and headlining a benefit gala that, in hindsight, feels almost too on the nose. He was booked to perform at the Crystal Heart Gala,
People forget things they knew.
an annual charity concert for the Hughley Memorial Medical Center in Fort Worth. Translation: the room was full of doctors, cardiologists, ER physicians,
It's gonna be yours until the day that I die.
people whose entire job was recognizing when a body was about to fail. Travis walked out that night, already compromised. He'd been fighting laryngitis, brought on by chronic allergies.
Amen. As long as old.
He'd taken multiple rounds of over-the-counter allergy medication to push through it. He'd been drinking caffeine to stay sharp. And then he stepped under stage lights, radiating heat,
Ever amen. As long as.
directly down on him. So why didn't anyone stop the show before it got to this point? Why does an artist with a quarter-century of experience walk on stage that compromised in the first place?
Women sit and talk about old men. If you want.
Because in country music, you don't cancel a benefit gala, you don't let a room full of doctors down, you push through. And then, mid-song, he didn't.
I'll be happy to tell you again.
Travis fainted in front of the crowd, a genuine collapse, not a stumble. And in one of the strangest strokes of luck in live music history, 2 of the physicians in that audience,
Listen to how this song ends.
the exact medical directors overseeing the benefit, were on their feet and at his side within seconds. That's when everything the audience thought they knew about the invincible baritone
Forever and ever, amen.
changed in real time. The diagnosis, delivered directly by those doctors afterward, read like a warning label for every touring artist: dehydration. Combined with over-the-counter allergy medication, combined with caffeine, combined with the direct heat of stage lighting. Not one cause. A stack of them, each one small.
The love that I feel for you always will be.
Each one survivable, until they weren't. Travis walked off stage under his own power. That detail matters. He wasn't carried out. He collapsed.
I'm killing. I'm no longer one.
And he still had enough left in him to get himself off that stage on 2 legs. He was examined on his tour bus, sent home to rest. And this is the part that tells you everything about the culture of country touring.
If you wonder how long I'll be faithful.
His label confirmed within days that he intended to resume his 25th anniversary tour without missing a beat. His next show was already locked in for that Saturday.
Forever and ever, amen.
In Bristol, Tennessee. Not flashy, not scandalous, Just a warning nobody outside that room fully heard, because here's the part that should stop you.
I'll be happy to tell you again.
If that same collapse had happened on a random Tuesday, at a regular show, in a venue without a room full of cardiologists, in the front rows, the outcome might have looked very different. Randy Travis got lucky. The next artist on this list wasn't performing in front of doctors. He was performing in front of 90-degree heat.
Make people forget things they knew.
And a sold-out amphitheater. And the whole thing was caught on someone's phone.
Forever and ever, amen.
Number 4. Jason Aldean. Crazy Town for Real. Hartford, Connecticut, July 2023.
Swore everything was gonna be alright.
Jason Aldean is one of the most durable headliners in modern country music. A guy who's played hundreds of shows a year for 2 straight decades. Weathered controversy,
Visit down to a corner bar, out of town.
weathered lineup shakeups, and built a reputation as someone who simply does not miss a date. July 15th, 2023, the Xfinity Theater in Hartford.
So tell me how far.
The temperature that day had climbed to 89 degrees, and if you've ever stood in a crowd at an outdoor amphitheater in July, you know the stage lighting alone can push the onstage temperature well past what the thermometer says.
I go.
Aldean had spent the day playing golf. Then he went straight into a full concert set. No real recovery window between the two. He got into his song, Crazy Town,
Corner bar, out of town in a getaway car.
one of his own hits, a song about spinning out of control, and the crowd could see, live, in real time, that something was wrong. He struggled to get the words out.
How far does a goodbye go?
He turned away from the microphone to cough. Fans in the front rows could see it on his face before he said a word. So what do you do when 10,000 people are watching you lose your ability to sing mid-set?
Miles away, coming up the road or on a midnight train.
You try to power through. That's the instinct every performer on this list shares. Aldean tried. He got through maybe one more line, then he ran off stage.
Far does a goodbye go till it don't come back?
And he didn't come back. Here's the mini cliffhanger the crowd lived through in real time. No announcement, no explanation. Just an artist who sprinted into the wings mid-song. And a silence that stretched on long enough for people to start pulling out their phones, wondering if what they'd just watched was serious. The venue confirmed the next day the show would be rescheduled. Aldean posted his own video statement, describing what he called a combination of dehydration and just heat exhaustion. He wasn't sure himself, in the moment.
The front porch barber light.
Whether it had crossed the line into full heat stroke. What he did confirm, a day later, was that he'd been treated with multiple IVs to get his body back to stable. It was pretty intense, he said.
The horse is running. Looks like I'm on the.
Coming from a man who's performed through hurricanes, pyrotechnic malfunctions, and a mass shooting at his own festival grounds in Las Vegas, that's not a small admission. And that's the pattern interrupt worth sitting with for a second. The artists who seem the toughest, the ones who've survived the worst nights imaginable, are just as vulnerable to something as unglamorous as heat and dehydration. As anyone else standing in that crowd. Aldean's story ends with a reschedule and a recovery. The next artist on this list wasn't as lucky with the clarity of what was happening to him in real time. Because what looked, at first, like exhaustion, turned out to be something far more serious.
A couple miles away, coming up the road or on a midnight.
Number 3. Ronnie McDowell. 3 songs in. Ole, Pennsylvania, June 2025.
There was a man who tasted sweet.
Ronnie McDowell has been a fixture of country and rockabilly-adjacent music since the late 1970s, when his tribute single to Elvis Presley,
Till I finally got it right.
shot to the top of the charts within weeks of the King's death. By 2025, he was 75 years old, still touring.
That I'd wait for the day that I could stand and sing in front.
Still playing full sets, a career that's now spanned nearly 5 decades on stage. He was booked at the Summer Solstice Music Festival in Ole, Pennsylvania, in June 2025. His son,
His hand to help a friend.
Ronnie McDowell Jr., was working that night as his tour manager, standing side of stage, McDowell's live vocals feeding directly into his in-ear monitor. 3 or 4 songs into the set,
Now the king is gone.
McDowell Jr. heard something that made his stomach drop. His father's speech was slurring. He was forgetting lyrics to songs he'd been singing for over 40 years, songs that should have been muscle memory at that point.
There was a man who gave.
So why does a family member notice something's wrong before the crowd does? Because the people closest to a performer are trained to hear the difference between an off night and something else entirely.
To hear him sing.
And what McDowell Jr. was hearing didn't sound like an off night. He made the call to pause the show and pull his father off stage. And here's the moment that should stop you cold.
From a working man to royalty to.
When he asked his dad, directly, if he was okay, McDowell said no. "That's not how my strong dad talks," his son would say afterward. McDowell told his son, right there, side of stage, that he thought he might be having a stroke. His own diagnosis, delivered in real time before a single doctor had touched him. They got him into a van to cool down.
And oh, what a rain.
Called for an EMT. The EMT and McDowell Jr. both agreed this needed an ambulance, immediately. At the hospital, the diagnosis came back, a mini stroke. Technically known as a transient ischemic attack. Doctors told him he'd need surgery within a matter of weeks. And in the strange emotional whiplash that runs through so many of these stories,
Yeah, the king is gone.
McDowell reportedly reacted with something close to relief when told he could still perform and work out in the days ahead. A 75-year-old man,
But long live his name.
who'd just been told he needed surgery to prevent a full stroke, and his first thought was getting back to the stage. He was released from the hospital within days, in what his family called good spirits.
There was a man.
But sit with the mechanics of that story for a second. If his son hadn't been standing exactly where he was, with McDowell's vocals feeding directly into his ear, would anyone in that crowd have caught it in time?
Who tasted sweet success, but still.
How many performers are out there right now, slurring a word here, forgetting a line there, with nobody positioned close enough to notice before it becomes an emergency?
His hand to help a friend.
That question is the thread connecting every story on this list. And it's about to get a lot more personal. Because if these stories are bringing back memories of your own favorite country stars,
A loving man who shed his.
or moments you watched live and never forgot, go ahead and hit subscribe. There's a lot more of this coming. Because what happens next didn't happen at a small festival in Pennsylvania.
And oh, what a rain, and the crown on his head.
It happened on an international stage, in front of tens of thousands of people, to one of the biggest names in the genre, and his own wife had to grab the microphone to explain it to the crowd.
Wrong his name.
Number 2. Tim McGraw is super dehydrated. Dublin, Ireland, March 2018. Tim McGraw doesn't need an introduction in this genre.
Talking about the options and talking about sweet.
Multi-platinum albums, decades of #1 singles, a movie career on the side, and a marriage to Faith Hill that turned into one of the most successful co-headlining acts in country music history.
On a bull named Fu Manchu, and I love.
By March 2018, McGraw was 50 years old and in the middle of a run of shows across the UK and Ireland as part of the Country to Country Festival. 3 cities,
When it sank in that this might really be the real end. How
3 nights, back to back to back. London on Friday, Glasgow on Saturday, Dublin on Sunday. That's the part worth sitting with.
spoke sweeter and I gave forgiveness.
Before we get to what happened, 3 full arena sets in 3 different countries in 3 consecutive nights. No real recovery window, just travel, sound check, performance, repeat.
About what you do with it. What did you do?
Sunday night, in Dublin, McGraw was performing Humble and Kind, a song, ironically, about staying grounded no matter how big your life gets, when he dropped to his knees on stage and sat down.
0.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu.
The crowd didn't know, in the moment, whether this was part of the performance or something else. That uncertainty is its own kind of tension.
Sweeter and I gave forgiveness. I've been
Thousands of people trying to read an artist's body language in real time, unsure whether to keep singing along or start to worry. Faith Hill, who was co-headlining the show,
He said, someday I hope you get the chance.
walked out and took the microphone herself. "He's been super dehydrated," she told the crowd. "I apologize, but I made the decision that he cannot come back out on stage."
I love deeper and I spoke.
Think about what that moment actually was. Not a publicist, not a tour manager. His wife, standing in front of a sold-out international crowd. Making a real-time medical call about her husband's body in front of everyone who'd paid to see him. McGraw was attended to on-site by local medical staff. The official word,
I wasn't, and I became a friend would like to have.
released shortly after, confirmed dehydration as the cause, no further complications. But footage of that moment went viral almost instantly. One of the biggest stars in country music,
And he said, someday I hope you get the chance.
on his knees, unable to finish a song about staying humble. And that's the pattern interrupt underneath this entire list. 3 shows, 3 countries, 3 nights.
Like you were dying.
No days off. That's not a scheduling anomaly. That's the standard touring model for artists at McGraw's level. The machine doesn't stop for dehydration. It stops for total collapse.
Well, I finally read the good book.
McGraw would go on to joke about it days later, posting a photo of himself scuba diving on vacation, with the caption, "Hydrating."
I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before.
The kind of dark, self-aware humor performers use to reclaim a moment that scared everyone who watched it happen. But not every story on this list ends with a joke and a vacation photo.
Me on a dime. I spent most.
The last one, the one that closes this list, is the most serious medical emergency any artist here experienced.
I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain.
And the man at the center of it says he can still remember the exact sound his own brain made the moment it happened.
2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Man.
Number 1. Drake White. The Gunshot Behind My Ear. Roanoke, Virginia, 2019.
I've seen better days.
Drake White is not one of the household names on this list. He never had a run of number 1 singles like McGraw or Aldean. What he has is one of the most respected live shows in modern country music, an Alabama-raised soul country hybrid sound, and a reputation among his peers as one of the hardest-working,
They pull me back in.
most electric performers on any stage he stepped onto. In 2019, that reputation nearly got him killed. On stage, mid-song, Roanoke, Virginia. "98 degrees. What White would later describe as beautiful, cotton candy-colored skies over a crowd of 2,500 people. He was 3 or 4 songs into the set
On a chrome. I'm the hot dead.
the exact same window where Ronnie McDowell's symptoms began, when he felt a tick in his left arm, then tingling and numbness spreading through his fingers.
Then she slips her hand.
And then he heard something that shouldn't be possible to hear from inside your own skull. I call it a gunshot," White said. "It literally sounded like an audible gunshot behind my left ear."
Loving arms, they pull me back.
That's not a metaphor he's using for effect. That's how he describes the physical sensation of what was happening to him: a hemorrhagic stroke, a brain bleed, occurring in real time,
There you go, baby, yeah. Making me look good.
while he was standing in front of an audience mid-performance. If you watch the footage back, and it exists, because someone in that crowd was filming, you can see the exact moment it hit him.
Leather and
You can see him try to push through it anyway. I grew up in Alabama, where you just kind of keep pushing, keep going, White said. I tried to do that, and I couldn't speak.
making me look good.
That's the moment this entire list has been circling around from the very first story. Randy Travis, pushing through laryngitis. Jason Aldean, pushing through heat stroke.
Girl, when you smile at me and say,
Ronnie McDowell's son recognizing something was wrong before his father would ever say it out loud. Every single artist on this list operating under the same unwritten rule. The show goes on, no matter what your body is telling you. Drake White's body told him to stop in the most violent way possible, and even then, his instinct was to keep singing.
worn and haggard, weathered.
He was pulled off stage. Doctors would later tell him he'd suffered a hemorrhagic stroke, and that he had, in his words, a long road ahead of him.
My knees shake. I look like hell.
He'd overhear medical staff murmuring something even more brutal, that he'd be lucky to walk again, let alone ever perform on a stage a second time.
Leather and lace.
That's when my world kind of crashed in around me, White said. I've put so much time into this, and I've been so passionate about it. What am I going to do now? I've got a bedpan.
Then those loving arms.
And I can't even feed myself. Here's the turning point. During his recovery, which was long and brutal, and by his own account nearly broke him,
Like you and me, girl. when you smile.
White says he had what he describes as a near-death experience, a real, peaceful conversation with God during the period when doctors weren't sure he'd ever walk unassisted again.
I'm rushed on a barbed wire.
Let alone return to a stage. He leaned on his faith. He leaned on his family. And against the odds, the medical staff quietly murmured in that hospital room, Drake White walked again. And then he sang again. And then, years after a brain bleed nearly ended his life mid-song in front of 2,500 people, he got back on a stage.
I'm the heart that bleeds in an old.
That's not a chart statistic. There's no #1 single at the end of this story, no award to point to. What there is a man who heard a gunshot go off inside his own skull.
Country song, then knows love.
Kept singing anyway, nearly died from it, and came back regardless. That's the payoff, not fame. Not a comeback single, just a man standing on a stage again, breathing, singing, alive.